Well, I think we called this meeting just to acquaint you with what is going on in shipping. The Honorable Minister of Transport, Jaji Gambo, who was very proactive in his ministry, directed the Shippers Council to handle this matter, to midwife it between the Maritime Workers of Nigeria and that of the SAR, the Shipping Association of Nigeria. Meeting upon meeting was called. It was even at the instance of the ES Shippers Council, who have been meeting with the union and that of the management. But the attitude of the SAR is nothing to write home about. And that is why we said there's need to inform all our press men who have been what we call following up. Yesterday they were at the meeting, and the meeting did not go well to the union. And we felt it's an embarrassment to us, and it's an embarrassment to even the Minister of Transport, who initiated the idea of having what we call minimum standard in shipping. Because the way it is, the remunerations in shipping is like a death sentence, like I keep on saying it all the time. So it's like they are now running away from their responsibility, that is the Shipping Association of Nigeria, trying to allow what we have buried in the past to come up again. So why we call this meeting is to let you know that the shipping branch of Maritime Workers of Nigeria will be forced to withdraw the services of their members as from Monday, because we only suspended the ultimatum, and the way it is now, we need to renew the ultimatum. So we might be forced to withdraw the service of all the shipping workers in the shipping branch of Maritime Workers of Nigeria. Not only that, the 3 halves of the branches too, the dock worker, the MPA, the seafarers, are equally warming up for solidarity support, because it has to do with welfare of the workers. If you are talking of remunerations, you all know what it is. A worker that is well remunerated, he performs well. And if the man is leaving, let him live with happiness. We are retiring somebody from the sector. Retire him with good benefits. And that is what we are clamoring in the shipping branch. So that is the purpose of informing you guys this morning that as from next week, the shipping branch in Maritime Workers of Nigeria will withdraw the services of all their members all over Nigeria seaports. So that is the information. Thank you for coming.
Holding meetings with the union, and particularly issues that has to do with the maritime workers. The last one was the issue of international oil companies. And up to now, we still learn that many of them are yet to comply with the directive of the minister. And now the minister also had meeting with these shipping companies as well, and they are not also bulging into what the minister has said. Is it that there is a breakdown of law and order in the maritime industry, where they no longer respect the words of the minister or the words of the federal government, so to say?
Well, you said it right, because most of these IOCs, these multinationals, they have no regard for the law of this great country. While the government representative will be giving an ultimatum directing them to comply with the law of this great country. So it's to tell you is the impunity that we'll be talking about all the time. So but this time around, I think we are trying to correct the wrongs. So the IOC issues, I think the Maritime Workers of Nigeria, we have met with the management of Nigeria Port Authority, and we have been told that at least 70 or 80% of the IOC have complied in line with the directive of the minister.
Okay.
But we have not yet confused with that directive, until when there's going to be a blueprint agreement between the IOC and Nigeria Port Authority and that of Nigeria, Maritime Workers of Nigeria. So to us, we are going to let the whole world know that this impunity is becoming the order of the day with all these multinational companies.
Sir, I have 3 questions. First of all, when the minister intervened, I think he asked Shippers Council to liaise with you, and I think it's Shippers Council that is doing the negotiation. Now that you have taken the decision to shut down the services, have you notified Shippers Council? Are they aware that this is going to happen? Then, number 2 question is, what is the union really after in terms of percentage now for your members? What percentage are you seeking? Do you seek increment by 50% or 20% in their remuneration? Then lastly, sir, don't you think this is coming at a very sensitive period for the nation, where we have this, everybody is tensed up about the subsidy, the labor is tackling the federal government and all that. Coming up with this, what reaction do you think is
Well, I think the Maritime Workers of Nigeria's matter is not new to all the stakeholders. I remember vividly the press asked me these same questions. When ultimatum will be given at the end of the day, stakeholders will be asking us to step in. We're all aware that, and I said, because of the sensitivity of the port, after the oil, we talk of the port, Nigeria port. So we always weigh options. But the way it is now, there's no how we're going to continue issuing an ultimatum. Somebody will call this somewhere else and say, okay, let's dialogue. I think the minister never made mistake of asking the Shippers Council, who happen to be part of economic regulator. So they have not made mistake. So it is the attitude, the nonchalant attitude of the SAN that is bringing us into this level we're about to, this action we're about to take now. Because there's no how we're going to continue with give ultimatum today. We step it up. So. Government is a continuity. When you are telling me whether new government or whether it's a no wine a new bottle. So there's no how you're going to tell me whether the government is new or whatever. What we are talking is that the attitude of the employers in shipping is nothing to write home about. And when you are talking of percentage, then it has not gone to that. Because that percentage has to do when we have a mandate from the employers, then you can talk of percentage. But they are not even ready for any percentage. What they are saying is that status quo should remain. What they mean by status quo should remain? We are talking of minimum standard in shipping. And somebody is retiring. When you are retiring, it's like a death sentence in shipping. So this matter is not a new matter. It has been on for almost how many years now? Almost 6 years or more. This matter has been ongoing. So MPA will call. The matter will invite us. Everybody invites us. The Shippers Council, who happen to be the regulator, it's like the SAN are above them. So because the SAN is like they are more than the regulator, the economic regulator, that is the Shippers Council. So there's no how we're going to continue with this kind of attitude. That's why we call this press meetings, so that all of you be aware that you know, even you that is even talking to me now, you are the one that asked that question. That Mr. President General, you always give ultimatums. Before today, they call you, withdraw your ultimatum. So how do we continue? We are all well options. We are not a union of banking table. We are a reasonable union. We weigh all options before we can come out in this direction.
So how many years have this been going on, sir?
Almost 6 years.
I have a question. This is actually away from this, but it also has to do with the issue of giving ultimatums. A couple of months ago, you told us that you made case for increasing terminal charges, and that if the Shippers Council refuse to look into this, they are also going to withdraw expenses. So I want you to kind of tell us how far.
I think the Shippers Council, in their own wisdom, have written back to the union, telling us that yes, they have been increasing the tariff of those terminals, that some of them are not be telling us the truth. that there's no how you can tell us they have not been increasing their tariff. But when we look at what they said to us, okay, let us silent on it. Since they have come out and telling the union that yes, they always review their tariff. But to me, government can be funny. The man that signed the letter to us, he signed it on behalf of his peers. But when we investigated this matter from some of the terminal operators, they said yes, but not all. It's like they have been, you make case to individually, that is what happens. But generally, they do not do that. So there's no way they are going to confuse us about that. Yet their tariff have not been increased for some time now. But they said we'll be doing it underground. So why are you doing it underground? Let you all know what you have done. That is what we're saying. Not by telling us that you are doing it underground. So we're still on course with CIPAS Council. Because we want to be on the same page with them. Because if we are negotiating for collective bargaining agreement for our members, and the management is telling us that their tariff have not been increased for 5 years or 10 years or 20 years, and they are using that one as an excuse. But the union have to make it, and that's what we did. Because some people are telling us that we have compromised on it, and we said no, there's no compromise on that. We always say the obvious point that yes, they are employers of labor. They have contributed to the growth of the economy of the port. Then why have we not said, okay, let's review their tariff? And MPA came out. You all know, after my crying out, MPA came out that even for the past 20 or 30 years, they've not renewed their tariff. So who is fooling who? So those are the questions we need to ask them. If the landlord that gave the job to a tenant is telling us that even their own tariff too have not been reviewed, so what happened to the terminal operator that he gave the job to? So there's something that all of us need to look into. We are not compromised, we always say the reality.
There's one report I read sometimes ago, I'm a little bit confused to me. Still on this issue of a shipping company. From their side, they complain that FCCP barred them from negotiating with you. I don't know how true is that story. I don't know what's the take.
I don't know who are the FCCP.
That's the Federal Consumer Protection.
What has got to do with workers' welfare? I think that one has the IFED have overtaken that, and that is why the Minister of Transport directed the CIPAS Council to handle it. Because the one you called now, the name you mentioned, I think they are under CIPAS Council as well. So the only organ that can require that negotiation is CIPAS Council. And they have started. But it's like the sun have overpowered them. So they don't have power to use their... they don't have power.
Yes, what I wanted to find out is, I agree that this matter has been long overdue, and that's an issue almost on every occasion. The meeting, like you said, there was a meeting yesterday that we were not happy with the obviously it was deadlock. You also hinted out that when the shippers or the shipping branch start, the other branches of the union will join. I don't want to find out whether are they joining simultaneously or after the access.
You lead out for us.
Okay.
Is it open or what time frame are you giving us?
By next week, you see the reactions.
Okay. It's not a warning strike.
There's not like warning.
Okay, sir.
We are not warning anybody.
Yeah.
It's going to be total.
Yeah, well, it's coming, I would say that this is coming at the right time, owing to the fact that when you look at the fact that the announcement of subsidy removal, which will also place a burden on the workers, because the price of things will skyrocket in the market.
Subsidy removal has got nothing to do with the welfare of the workers in the port. This is port. We are not. It's not had to do with the people that hold the subsidy issues. They are handling it at national level. This is maritime. It's marine. It's marine operations we are talking about. So if you want to call me and tell me about subsidies, I think this question needs to be sent to Ajero in Abuja and some other people that are dealing with the federal government. But this one has got nothing to do with Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria. We are not discussing about subsidies here. We are discussing about welfare of the workers that have been on for almost 6 years, that all of you are all aware of it. So don't let them tie subsidy issues with this. Before subsidies, we have always been on this matter.
So what role is NSC play on this particular issue, especially with the new directive from your sector now?
NSC have got nothing to do with this.
The last time he said that.
No, wait.
NSC have got nothing to do with this.
Because I remember the last, when he came to Lagos, he said that anytime you want to do anything like this, you should do the
Leave that one, it's our internal matter now.
It's only when they're not equal, when the thing becomes this is an now report to the NC.
We are equal to the task, we are handle our own matter. Before it get to the issue of communicating to our leaders in the other rank, we know what to do. We have been communicating with them. They all are aware of this matter. It's not a matter of secrecy, it's a matter that the whole world are. If you go on what you have been saying over the years, you see them. And we'll be talking about this death sentence in shipping industry as a result of poor remuneration. So we're asking for minimum standard in shipping. If you are paying higher, continue paying higher. Then the people that are coming, let there be a template. That's what we're talking about. And somebody retiring back home, his retirement benefit is nothing to write home about. And that is why it's okay, let us sit down and negotiate their remuneration properly, in line with the CBA Act.
Okay, sir, you have said that, like you have stated that retiring from this industry is death sentence. And now it has been said
in shipping industry.
In the shipping industry, yeah, it's like a death sentence. And like my colleague rightly asked, is there no possibility, maybe factor that may come in place for you to rescind this decision now? So are you trying to tell anybody coming in between now is that the person wants the retirees to go and die? If that is what the person, if anybody trying to ask for you to rescind from this decision, that the message is sending is that we are actually affirming that the people in this sector should go and die.
That is not what I mean. What I mean is that the workers over the years that have been gainfully employed by different companies within the industry need to be well remunerated. And if somebody is coming in as a new employee or coming in as a new worker in the industry, they should have a minimum standard in line with the CBA. That is what we are saying. I did not say people should go and die as a result of their poor remuneration.
No, that's not what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is that if maybe any agency trying to ask you to come down on this decision, to back down from this decision anyway, is somehow trying to tell you that those people is affirming to the position that they should go and die at home.
They are still not going to call us. They are be calling us. And there's deadlock. There's deadlock. You can see what happened yesterday in Abuja. Deadlock. And the meeting is still ongoing this morning. So if tomorrow the Shippers Council, who happen to be the mediator of this matter, call us and say yes, they have gotten mandate. Okay. The SAN have gotten mandate. And the meeting can continue. But if there's nothing between today, tomorrow, then on Monday, something will happen.
Sir, lastly for me, I want to ask on the issue of NDIC for dock workers. Sometimes they told us that they're about to start since. What is the true position now? Have you commenced another round?
Yeah, we're about to commence, and we have meeting with the dock workers. Thank God the dock workers president is here. He has invited all his officers from all ports. We have a meeting here on Saturday, so that we can review the old CBA. So by next week, we will write to Nimasa to convene the meeting of NDIC.